So one thing to keep in mind if you are considering getting this drone, if you have any buddies at all that are in FPV that are flying what you might consider traditional FPV drones, just be aware that they will probably just roast you. It's kind of like boomers, like, get off your phone, why are you on your phone? Instead of that, it's why you get the DJI Avata. That's exactly what they sound like. That's exactly. And they know it too. Aaron, I know you're watching this.
It's a good.
So I'm going to talk about what my experience has been like flying the Avata, DJI Avata 1, the first one, now that they came out with the second one. Talk about the things I like about it, things I don't like about it, and you can decide if it's something that you want to fly or not. Yeah, so let's just get started. So this is how I travel with the drone, the Avata, and everyone does a little bit different. I have a couple buddies that have FPV drones. One of them, Ryan, he's got a Rotor Riot bag, and it looks like you're carrying a 30-pack of beer on your back, but I'm sure it's got all the nooks and crannies in it to put all every piece of gear you could ever imagine you'd need and more. And then buddy Aaron, I'm sure he probably carries his around in like a plastic Walmart bag or something. I'm just kidding. He's probably got something. Or he probably just carries the drone into the car with his sack of batteries. Everyone does a little bit different. But like I have this is a customized case for the Avata. So this is what it looks like on the inside. I might move to these picnic tables so I can kind of talk to you I'm gonna move over here so it's a little easier to talk about what I have. All right, so this is what I have in here. So here I got a strap, which lately I really haven't been using. Because if I can find a place to sit at a table, I'll fly like this. I don't know, this just doesn't feel quite as good. I have to hold my hands, like my fingers up a little bit more. So that's why lately I haven't really preferred to fly with the strap. And then I also have the motion controller, which I literally never use. The only time I use this is when I'm showing somebody the drone, and if they want to fly it, they can use the motion controller because it's as easy as flying a video game. And then here I have my goggles, which I replaced the strap on my goggles because I didn't want to have to hold the battery inside of like my sweatshirt or something. I just wanted to have it on the strap. And then I also replaced the cushioning around the goggles just so it felt more comfortable. But yeah, I've liked that so far. So yeah, so that's the goggles. And then I got 3 batteries that are ready to go, ready for me to fly. But then if I want to charge in the car, I have a charger there. Then I have the multi-charger brick right there if I want to charge all 4 at once. I don't ever use that on the go though. And then I have the drone here. And I also have a GoPro mount. I have a GoPro mount on the top. So if I want to put a GoPro on it. The GoPro 11 Mini, I've had 2 GoPro 11 Minis that have both overheated and just stopped working. Might get a third one, but this third time I get one, I'm definitely going to get the GoPro subscription because I'm tired of replacing GoPros. So the one thing to keep in mind when you're flying with drone batteries and stuff, the one thing with this Avata, if you care about quality, like footage quality, and you want the footage to look really good coming out of it, like you're not going to set it to auto, you're going to set it to manual exposure, and every time you fly, it's going to be a different exposure, different white balance. And so you have to keep in mind that one of the batteries that you're going to fly is probably going to utilize 5-10% of the battery just getting your settings squared away, ready to go. And I'm just cleaning the lens, making sure everything looks good so that when it comes out of the footage, it looks really good. Because really, when I'm flying, I'm flying for the fun of capturing really cool footage. And yeah, the flying's fun too. I mean, it feels like you're like soaring. I mean, it's like you're wearing a VR headset and you're like flying through the sky. That's what it feels like, kind of. But I just absolutely love getting the footage out of it. I just think it looks so cool. So the way these ND filters work is they're magnetic. So if you ever crash, chances of finding it are probably pretty slim. Literally did exactly what I was mentioning earlier. The thing fell off. Alright, so here we go with our settings. You're always going to want to shoot in manual mode if you care about the picture quality. Unless you are just simply flying for fun, you're not going to do anything with the footage, or you're just going to do it for your personal use, or whatever you want to do with it. This is auto exposure, and that's fine. I always set to manual because I care more about I fly for the fun of getting really cinematic stuff. Yeah, the flying is fun. It feels like you're flying. You got the goggles on, the VR headset and stuff, but I probably care more about the picture quality that comes out of it than I do the flying itself. And you can set your ISO levels, your shutter speed. The one thing with this drone that with the quality that comes out of this, I've noticed it's very contrasty, so you have to make sure you expose the shadows, otherwise the shadows will get crushed. But on the other hand, you also have to be cautious of the highlights because you don't want to blow those out. So I'm actually shooting at 0.7 just so I don't crush the shadows, because if I lower this down, it starts to get a little dark, and yeah, the sky is exposed properly, but I want to make sure I can see the detail in the ground and stuff like that. And I might end up having to change this when I'm in the air, which is one huge plus. Like, once I'm in the air, I will know more about the exposure I like, and that is one huge plus with flying the Avata. You can do it. You don't have to go fly a battery and then come back and change it. You can just do it mid-flight. You just have to stop recording. So, yeah, I like that it shows you the exposure value. Then you get your white balance, I'm just set daylight there. Video quality, one thing that drives me crazy is you can't get 4K 24. So then this is another big thing. So if you want to shoot an ultra wide, which is so much wider than what it looks in this viewfinder, which can be a cool thing, but it's almost like warping wide. But if you do choose to shoot an ultra wide, you are forced to use rock steady, but you have to remember to turn rock steady on. But if you plan to use Gyroflow or a post-production stabilization software, you have to shoot in wide or normal. For some reason, Gyroflow just doesn't work with ultra wide, so you have to set it to wide, and then you just turn stabilization off so that Gyroflow can do its thing. Like, if you set it to Rocksteady, Gyroflow won't work, and I think Gyroflow feels a lot more natural than Rocksteady does. And then Desynalike is what you have to set it to if you want to get the 10-bit color that it claims to have. I still don't know if I'm convinced that it has 10-bit color. I haven't seen anything that looks quite as good as the GoPro 11. That is my experience with it. So that's kind of why I'm making sure my shadows are exposed properly and whatnot. All right, we're finally ready. Like I was saying earlier, you can. One thing with this that can be nice if you're in like a really tight area and you want to take off just so it's safe, you can start your motors like this, and you can just take off. You can let go. It'll hover like a traditional DJI drone, and then when you're in a spot that feels comfortable, where you feel comfortable with going, you can then switch to sport or manual. All right, so there's like a motor start stop button. I think you double tap it to start it. So the motors are started, and then you can just kind of take off. Now, I do not like the gimbal. I said probably 0 degree, 10 degrees. So I go back up to like 20 degrees, which this is huge for being able to adjust while you're flying.
It's a good thing.
So yeah, if you're gonna get the Avata, just be willing to invest probably $2K into it, and be willing to put up with the little bit of the throttling. I'm probably pretty close to getting a traditional FPV drone, but I love that I have the Avata. It's a fun little thing, and if you have any questions with the Avata, let me know.